from the meeting September 28th, as well as the minutes of the October 3rd meeting. The approval of the winter coaches, which is 5A, 6A, resolution for the disbursement of personal property, and 6B, special education. Does anyone wish any of those items to be removed from consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve these items that are listed on the consent agenda?
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff. Is there a second?
Yes.
Thanks, Dana. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Abstentions, motion carries 5-4-0 against with 2 people absent. It is, we do have it for the good of the cause. We have a period of time set aside where the public can speak on a school-related matter. If you wish to address the board, now is your chance. We ask that you stand. Please keep your comments brief, and also identify your name and your topic on the sheet provided. Right. Good, then let's move on to the good part of the meeting. We have students here to present to us. We're really appreciative always of you coming. This probably is the favorite part of any part of our meetings, is to have students here talking to us. Just to give a little background about this, for one thing, we have a policy that requires us to have periodic meetings with students so that we can hear your thoughts on what we're doing well and where you think we can improve, and just in general, what's going on with you in your school lives. We also have a leadership goal as part of our strategic plan, and it says in part that the district will work to continuously ensure a culture of mutual respect and positive collaboration. And that's what we're trying to accomplish tonight, and you're helping us with. So thank you. I'm going to ask Dr. Catania to maybe introduce everybody that's here.
I'll introduce Mrs. Lindsay, but I do want to let you know this will be a treat tonight for you. Because these students are here, yes, to represent their classmates and to talk about school, but they also come here with a special purpose, which is to talk about a program that they created. And I'm going to let them talk about that, but that's how they're going to start tonight. And then from there, we'll give you a chance, either I'll ask questions or you can ask questions to follow up. But I'm going to ask our middle school principal, Mrs. Lindsay, to do the introductions.
Thanks. The Lake Placid Connections, Middle School Connections for Change, started with Tom Bull coming in and working with our middle schoolers. He did an assembly towards the end of the year last year. And these guys are what we call our quote-unquote principals. And they presented the information back out, but they'll explain to you specifically what it is. These students came in over the summer and worked for 3 days in August. Developing an assembly and ideas of the program and what they're going to carry throughout the year. So we have Elsie Fitzsimmons, Sophie Locke is here in the middle, Ariana Williams, Kai McKinnon came up from the elementary school, and she worked very closely with the team for the 3 days over the summer and continues to inspire and share ideas, and Caleb Myhill.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Go ahead, guys.
Hi, I'm Elsie.
And I'm Sophie.
And LPCC is a group of people who inspire people to be positive and create a safe environment in school. And this is a pair of shoes, and it's kind of our motto, stand in our shoes. And it stands for empathy, and we kind of follow that.
LPCC is really about connecting the students and teachers together, like Elsie said, to create a better environment for everyone attending the school and spending your time there.
I pretty much covered everything well, so. So we want everyone to feel like they belong and want to come to school and be with all the teachers and their friends and other students. I have a story about why I joined the club. And one day when I was in school, I spent someone was talking to me and it wasn't very nice, and one of my friends came up and kind of supported me, and I want other people to have that same feeling of supportiveness. And
For me, this feeling of support I got when I moved here in 4th grade. I was really lonely and I didn't have a lot of friends at that time, but after a couple of days of getting to know my peers, they started talking, we started making connections together, and I really felt happy and like I was in a good place at the elementary school. And I feel like that support is one of the biggest things, or one of our biggest goals for the LPCC, to make all the students feel supported.
The reason why I joined was because last year was really tough for me because I had no friends and I was new, and so like I always got picked on and everything. So I wanted to help other people feel supported and make
so our mission is to create a positive and safe environment for everyone.
To make everyone feel welcome in our school and like they're in the right spot every day.
and make sure no one feels sad or like they're not important.
So we feel that everyone, or between the students should feel connected, and also the students and the teachers and staff.
LPCC thinks that we feel that the relationships between the teachers and students are one of the most important things that keeps the school going and what makes such a great community for everyone who goes there.
And we want to encourage everyone to be supportive of others and be positive.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we try to go by the butterfly effect, where our group does things to try to change and be positive for everyone, and other people will see that, and then they will do it, and then their friends will see them doing it, so then everyone will start to do it.
The butterfly effect is a really effective way of spreading things around. I know if I was walking the hallway and I saw a kid being bothered, and one of my peers went up and was able to end that aggression and put the two students apart, I know I'd want to be like them. I'd look up to them, and that's what's driving this method.
So we want to try to influence people to do what we do, and we want everyone to feel that they can do the things that we do and be positive without having to be in the club. And we want this club and this environment to be everlasting.
Things that could help the LPCC grow would be activities like a trivia game between the students during lunch, or a book club that one of the teachers, Kristen Tice, she hosts, and that's really pulls the students together.
And then our goals for the future are pretty much to have everyone connected and to have a positive environment.
We're really looking forward to being able to have students come into school and be excited to learn and see their friends, and just overall to have a good experience at school.
So how many people are in your club?
I think we have around 15. Yeah, 10 to 15.
15, and it's 6 through 8?
Yes.
Question for you. So two of you mentioned you were new, and that's how you got involved, new to the school.
Yeah.
So I'm new. Do you reach out to me if you know I'm in school and I'm wandering aimlessly around the school? Is it do you sort of take on the role of reaching out to that person and inviting them in, or?
Yeah, like this year I noticed there's some new students. I helped them around, even though I didn't have a lot of classes with them. I tried to help them around and help them make new friends.
Good, thank you.
Thanks. This sounds wonderful. It sounds like you're being leaders. You're helping others and being helped yourself. So it's a great program. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Nice presentation. You did a great job.
So could you maybe join Kai and Caleb in the chairs, and then maybe we'll ask just a few other questions before we're done? Does that work for everybody?
Sure.
So one of the things the school board likes to know, and maybe we should start by kind of explaining who the school board is. Want to try that?
Sure. Maybe we should introduce ourselves first, so you know who you're talking to. Maybe start with Jeff.
Hi, I'm this guy here. I'm Jeff. And I have my son Jack goes to school. He's in 9th grade.
I'm Dan. I have daughter Juliana and son Nicholas.
And I'm Mary Dietrich. And my kids graduated from here, but a long time ago.
I'm Rick. I graduated from here a long, long time ago.
And I'm Joan. I also graduated from here, and I have 2 daughters. One graduated from here, and it's a great club that I think you guys are doing.
And there are actually 2 other people, so we are a 7-member board. 2 people aren't here yet. One will be here soon. We each serve a 3-year term. We're elected to our positions. Our terms are all staggered. So like for example, I'm serving starting the 6th year so I'm serving in my 2nd term. So I have 1 more year left in this term. Stan here is brand new, and Joan is brand new. They were just elected, so they really have 3 more years. Jeff and Rick each have 2 more years before they're up for re-election. And we basically, I think the best way to picture what we do is, I heard this description this weekend, and I think it's a good one. How many of you are ever in any of the plays at school? Do any of the plays? I think you do. Well, a play always has a director. The director kind of sits up and he looks down and sees everything that's going on, sees the person in charge of the lighting, sees the person backstage, sees the person helping with costumes, sees all the actors and actresses on the stage, and sees how the audience reacts to it. And then from all of that person, the director kind of pulls everything together and decides what's best, what's going to make that play work the best. And that's kind of what we do as a board. We kind of check out everything, and we try to set the direction for the board and set policies for the school to hopefully continue and improve and be able to provide the education that you all need.
Thanks.
Sure.
So because that's their job and they really do want to know what's going on, I thought we would ask the most important people in the room some questions about what really is going on, because you know better than everybody else. So the first question I would like you to answer if you can, and hopefully everyone, but if you don't all have an answer, that's okay. Hopefully you do for this one. This would be, what do you think is the best part of school here? What do you think is the best part of school?
For me, I think it's 10th period because I get extra time to work on my assignments. And if I don't finish them and they're due that day, usually the teachers let you work on it 10th, and then if you get it handed in by the end, you can still get full credit.
I think for me is being able to see my friends and peers every day, and being able to make new relationships with even some of the people I'm not especially close with. So I get the opportunity to really get to know them all, which is really important to me.
I think the teacher relationship between the student and the teacher is really important.
Kai, what's the best part for you?
I go to the elementary school.
Oh, it's okay. What's the best part of the elementary school for you? Not sure yet? Okay, we'll check in with you later. Yeah. Ariana, how about you?
Pretty much everything. I really like how the schools, how like there's not a lot of like there's a content.
Feel safe to you? Great. Yeah. Well, thanks. What about if there was something you could change? Could be anything, really. And remember, these are the people who can sometimes help make changes happen. So it's always good to make suggestions. So if there's something you could change about school, what would it be? Oh, Ariana's
A longer science class.
longer science. You didn't say that because you're science.
I don't know that I'll say that.
Probably the time between periods, kind of like you have to run down the stairs in order to get to the classroom in time, because you can be in one area of the school, and then you have to race down to the other area, that's the opposite.
I think I just need a little more time. Is that okay? Sorry. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I probably agree with Caleb.
Okay, I think probably for me, the way some teachers like talk with their students, and I know that's sometimes I feel like the connection or bond between the students and teachers isn't as strong as sometimes it needs to be. If it's strengthened, I feel like the students can really grow. So maybe, like more opportunities to really talk and get to know their teachers and students to create a better environment for both the teachers and students.
Thank you.
Any other suggestions? Any other things that you wish, if you could change, you would like? Yes, Ariana.
Longer lunch.
Longer lunch.
So lunch I go really long. By the time I get out, I like to find a place to sit. Then I have like a minute to eat. Well, not really. I have a little.
What else would you want the school board to know? You don't get a chance to tell the school board things very often. Is there anything else that you would like the school board to know?
Throughout the students, there's, at least what I've seen, there can be a lot of racism, and sometimes there can be racist remarks that are made, and a lot of people kind of pass by that, or it's not really brought up to attention. So I think maybe if the teachers could show and are able to kind of explain to the students how that's not acceptable.
Thanks, Sophie.
Thank you.
Yeah. How about board members? Do board members have any questions for student panelists?
I think you guys did a great job covering, the questions that we asked you, so nice work, and thank you very much.
I guess I'm going back to your club. Is there anything that the board can do to help you? And that's, I guess I'll leave that out there as an open-ended question, as something that if as you're discussing and having meetings with this club, if you hit a stumbling block and you think maybe you could come back to us, that we might be.
I did miss one thing. I don't know if they covered it, but meeting days are on Tuesdays.
Same day as our meetings, our meetings are every other Tuesday. So do you meet during 10th period, or do you meet during the day?
On 10th period.
Does that work all right?
Yeah.
And That's always appreciated. And you've given us some good information here, so thank you again.
So Mary, I just also want to just introduce the facilitators, because there are 3 teachers that have been working really hard with this group of kids, and that's Mike Bringley, Kristen Tice, and Jody McKinnon. And so, as I said in the beginning, these students came in for 3 days over the summer and worked really hard with Tom Bull to create their opening assembly, as well as to create, they did activities that first week. Actually, it ended up being the second week of school, right? It was the second week of school. Each day had a different activity. They came up with the name themselves. This was not something that the teacher said, okay, this is what the name is. This truly is student driven, and they are the driving force behind this whole initiative.
It's wonderful.
That's great.
It is great. And I think, not only are you doing something good for the school and for the rest of the student body, but you yourselves are getting some really good skills that will stay with you for the rest of your lives. And thank you all for your time.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome to stay. All right, we have another guest. Mr. Tom Telling is here. He has our audit. You'll see the audit in front of you. He's going to go through. Why don't you just come up and sit closer? And,
You get the hussy.
yes.
Yeah. That's not fair. They set the bar.
They did. Hard act to follow.
That was really good. You want me to just jump right in?
Let's do. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Tom Telling. And so I'm going to present our audit report to you. And so I would take you to page 1. This is the report itself. We issue 4 reports, and this is the overall audit report. If you look at the bold headings, you can see that management is responsible for the financial statements, for preparing the financial statements in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. The auditors, we're an independent auditing firm. Our responsibility is to express an opinion based on our audit, and we conduct our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. And we obtain procedures, enough evidence to be able to express an opinion, and we believe we've obtained sufficient evidence. And the last paragraph is our opinion. And it's a good opinion. In our opinion, these financial statements present fairly in all material respects the financial position of the school district. So that's good. We also sent, there's a separate letter. This is a letter that is from the independent auditing firm to the board. It's telling you essentially how the audit went and significant audit findings. One thing that's required to alert the board to under significant audit findings is if there is the use of estimates in order to be able to create these financial statements. They're all numbers that go into it, but you do have to come up with the most significant estimate is there's post-employment benefit liability that's in this report, and an actuarial firm prepares that estimate based upon like the demographics of the people who are retired and the people who are active here, your people. And other post-employment benefits is health insurance. It's the school's obligation to provide health insurance. And then there is another actuarial estimate that's in here, and that is that, I'll take you into it a little bit. you'll see that you have the school district's share of the teacher's retirement fund and that's a liability, and the employee's retirement fund. These are huge funds. Your share is less than 1% of these funds. Is recorded on the books of the school district. So here again, that is an actual estimate. Okay, so if we had any difficulties in performing audit, this is our opportunity to present that to you. We had no difficulties. If we had any proposed journal entry that management didn't want to record, this is our opportunity to alert the oversight body that we thought one thing and management thought another. We didn't have any. We didn't have any disagreements, and so here again, this letter is a good report. One other letter. There's two. There's a letter in the back of the report that it's an opinion on the extracurricular activities. They're small. That was a clean opinion. I won't spend any time there, but I'll take you to page 53. This report is a report on the internal controls of the school district. We learned what controls that are in place, and so we look to see if those controls are proper, and then we also look to see if they're being adhered to. And if we found that there was any deficiency in your controls, internal controls, or if there was any material weakness, this is our opportunity to present that to you. We did not, in our consideration of the internal controls, we did not find any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but that we're not giving an opinion that they don't exist, but we didn't see any. On the next page, compliance. There is a compliance matter. It's on page 55. New York State law, school law, property tax law requires that your unassigned fund balance doesn't exceed. It's at 6.7%. I think you're all pretty much aware of that. But we need to alert you to that you're not in compliance with our law. I'll take you to page 12, because here